In the year 1000 AD, a 10-year-old boy in Hangzhou, China, woke up, ate breakfast at a restaurant, walked past a newspaper vendor, and watched his father pay for silk with paper money. That same year, a 10-year-old boy in London woke up on a dirt floor, had no shoes, could not read, and had never seen a coin in his life. This is not a fantasy. This is not exaggeration. This is what the historical record tells us. One civilization was living in the future, the other was barely surviving the present. Today, we are stepping into the streets of Hangzhou in the year 1000 AD through the eyes of the Chen family, a merchant father, a scholar mother, and their 2 children. This is one day in the greatest city most people have never heard of. And by the end, you will wonder why nobody taught you this in school. Before we walk with the Chen family, you need to understand where you are. The Song Dynasty ruled China from 960 to 1279 AD, and it was not just another empire. Historians consider it the most technologically advanced civilization of the medieval world. At its peak, Song China produced roughly 25 to 30% of the entire world's GDP. Let that land, one country, a quarter of everything produced on Earth. The Song Dynasty did not conquer its way to power. It innovated its way there. It built the world's first paper currency system. It mass-produced iron at a scale that exceeded all of Europe combined. It created a civil service based on merit, not bloodline. It was, by every measurable standard, centuries ahead of the rest of the world. And at the beating heart of this dynasty sat Hangzhou, a city of over 1 million people. For context, London at the same time had around 50,000. Paris was even smaller. Hangzhou was not just the biggest city in China. It was the biggest city on the planet, and the Chen family called it home. Dawn breaks over West Lake. A soft mist rolls across the water, curling around wooden pavilions and lotus flowers. Somewhere on the far shore, a temple bell rings. But inside the city walls, Hangzhou is already awake. Chen Wei, the family's father, opens the shutters of their 2-story wooden house near the canal district. Below, the streets are filling. Vendors are hauling carts of fresh vegetables. Canal boats loaded with rice and silk glide beneath stone bridges. The air smells of steamed buns, roasting pork, and a sharp green scent of fresh tea. This city has over 100 bridges. It has canals cutting through every district like veins through a body. It has wooden pagodas that rise 5, 6, 7 stories into the sky. Their curved eaves painted in deep vermilion red and trimmed with gold. If you were dropped here from modern times, you would not believe you were standing in the year 1000 AD. Chen Wei does not cook breakfast at home. Almost nobody in Hangzhou does. Instead, he walks his 2 children down the street to a restaurant. Yes, a restaurant. Hangzhou had the world's first restaurant culture. Dedicated dining establishments with menus, tables, and specialized kitchens. The family sits down. They order noodles in broth, steamed dumplings, and tea. The bill comes, and Chen Wei reaches into his robe and pulls out a small, printed piece of paper. This is jiaozi, the world's first banknote, paper money. The year is 1000 AD, and Europe will not use paper currency for another 700 years. After breakfast, Chen Wei heads to the silk market. He is a textile merchant. His wife, Chen Liling, stays behind, but not to clean the house. She walks to the opposite end of the district, where she tutors young women in calligraphy and classical poetry. Education in Song Dynasty China was not limited to men. Women of merchant and scholarly families were often highly literate, trained in arts, music, and literature. Meanwhile, their eldest son, Chen Jun, walks to the academy. He is 15 years old and preparing for the Imperial Civil Service examination. This is the system that made Song China unlike anything else in the medieval world. It did not matter if you were born poor or rich. If you passed the exam, you could govern a province. Merit, not bloodline, decided your future. Imagine that system existing 1,000 years ago, while Europe was still ruled entirely by inherited titles. As Chen Jun walks to his academy, he passes a print shop. Inside, a craftsman is arranging small clay blocks on a wooden tray, each block carved with a single Chinese character. This is movable type printing. The inventor, Bai Sheng, perfected it in 1040 AD. Europe's Gutenberg would not build his printing press for another 400 years. These printed pages are not just books. They are newspapers, Song Dynasty China had a functioning news distribution system. Printed bulletins were circulated through the city, covering government announcements, market prices, and regional events. 1,000 years ago, the people of Hangzhou were more informed about their world than most Europeans would be for centuries. But that is not all. Step outside the print shop and you hear a distant crack from the military training grounds south of the city. That sound is gunpowder. Song Dynasty armies deployed fire arrows, early grenades, flamethrowers, and rocket-propelled weapons. They had been refining gunpowder for military use since the 900s. Europe would not use firearms for another 300 years. And if you look up at the astronomical tower near the Palace District, you will see a mechanical clock. Built by the engineer Su Song around 1088 AD, it stood over 30 feet tall and tracked the movement of stars and planets. Nothing remotely like it existed anywhere else on Earth. Paper money, a printing press, gunpowder weapons, mechanical clocks, newspapers, all of it in one city at the same time. And yet, most of the world has never been taught this. Evening falls. The sun drops behind West Lake, painting the sky in shades of amber and violet. And Hangzhou does not sleep. The Chen family reunites for the night market. This is Hangzhou's most famous tradition. A 24-hour market economy that never closes. The medieval world's only all-night city. Red paper lanterns line every street, thousands of them. The glow turns the entire district into a warm, flickering sea of light. Vendors sell roasted duck, candied fruits, sesame cakes, and bowls of spiced wine. Acrobats perform on raised platforms. Storytellers gather crowds of 50, 100 people, spinning tales of ancient wars and legendary heroes. Somewhere in the distance, a guqin player fills the air with music so delicate it sounds like water falling on stone. Young Chen Jun buys his little sister a painted silk fan. Chen Wei haggles over a bolt of indigo fabric for his shop. Chen Liling pauses at a bookstall and picks up a printed collection of poems by Li Qingjiao, one of the dynasty's most celebrated female poets. This is not survival. This is culture. This is a civilization that had the wealth, the stability, and the vision to build a life that went far beyond mere existence. A farmer in England at this time had never eaten at a restaurant, never held printed paper, never seen a banknote, and never walked a lit street after dark. The Chen family did all of it before dinner. But the Chen family's world would not last forever. In 1234, the Mongol Empire, the most devastating military force in human history, turned its attention south. For decades, the Song dynasty resisted. Their gunpowder weapons held the line longer than anyone thought possible. But Kublai Khan was relentless. He besieged city after city. He cut supply lines. He turned Song generals against each other. In 1279, the last Song emperor, a child of 8 years old, died at sea as his fleet was destroyed in the Battle of Yamen. A court minister held the boy in his arms and jumped into the ocean rather than surrender to the Mongols. The Song dynasty was over. The restaurants closed, the night markets dimmed, the manuscripts were scattered. Centuries of accumulated knowledge, innovation, and culture were disrupted in ways the world is still measuring. What would Song China have become if it had survived another 200 years? What inventions were lost? What ideas died with the dynasty? We will never know. 1,000 years ago, a family in Hangzhou ate at restaurants, paid with paper money, read printed books, and lived in a city of 1 million people. At the same time, most of Europe could not imagine any of it. If this changed the way you see history, subscribe. We are bringing forgotten civilizations back to life, one family at a time. Next week, we step into Mughal India, 1600 AD, where one empire built the Taj Mahal and controlled a quarter of the world's economy. You do not want to miss it.